Exactly. There's so many, and that goes back into the redundancy of our country. Everything is on a redundant cycle, like how the Declaration of Independence and all of these things are signed so that people can be treated like men and treated like equals, but the same people who are signing this thing have slaves.
No, I
So
agree,
it's like
bro. I
what
agree.
where
It's
and so
broken, but I don't.
but it's meant to be broke.
But
It's
I don't know if
supposed to
the
be broke.
answer is like for us to just go and leave to go.
Y'all keep pausing and talking at the same exact time.
I
Like
know.
literally pause for the
Literally.
same amount of time and then start talking at the same time.
I wish like we was. I wish we was all in the same room right now because I feel so fired up talking to y'all right now. But like I don't know the answer. Could the answer be just leaving here, go on our islands? You think about that realistically. Most of us can't even go camping for 2 nights and without start or whatever, without knowing what to do. Like
Is
how?
that not a problem? That's a problem. That's something we need to start focusing on. If everything went to shit right now, if you can't survive for 2 days, like
Right.
politics, nigga, you need to start go. You need to go to the backyard and have a camp out or something. Get some practice in. Like, and I mean honestly though, but that's the way for us as humans. Like, we have to go back to that shit.
Right.
Egyptians had light bulbs. Egyptians had streets, but they still were one with nature. We lack our connection with nature, so we lack our overall intellect, our
And that's
overall
what
innate
we taught
abilities.
from young ages. But like nobody knows that now. We would have to start we have to re-implement the education now and the knowledge on how to do that shit. And for to say a civilization could survive like that, even if you implemented those things now, it wouldn't be like hundreds and hundreds of years. Like
We
I'm
are
talking
so
right
we
now.
are so conditioned to rely on technology. We are
I
so
agree.
conditioned. We were driving to like Disney or something like that from Miami where I live, and my stepsons were in the car, and the younger one, his like iPad died or some shit. I don't know what happened, but he was like, Chris, can I borrow your phone so I can watch like a show, watch Netflix on your phone? And I'm like, well, no, I'm using the GPS, you're just gonna have to sit there. But I'm bored. Okay, well, when I was growing up, we didn't have a cell phone to play on in the car. On a road trip, we didn't have an iPad. And his response, I'm dead ass. His response was, "You're lying." Like, no, for real. We did not have iPads when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to them. Yeah.
Yeah, people can't understand the time where there's no TVs. Like, think about our generation, right? Like how the older people used to tell us, like, yeah, we didn't have TVs. We used to listen to radios and like read books, and sometimes they would just sit there and chill and just talk. Now it's like you gotta have the Netflix on. You gotta have the iPad and the iMac on and the Bluetooth and the Alexa. Hey Alexa, play Imagine Dragons. Like we're all in that.
Bro, I remember I used to have to check. I remember checking the newspaper for movie times.
Yeah, that's crazy. Right?
Yeah,
So
and then movie phone. You could call the number and pick your theater and what movie, and it would tell you the time.
I agree. Like we're totally too dependent on technology. But the thing is, we're so dependent on it, we don't know what to do besides that. And it would take a huge unraveling, and re-education, and an actually willingness to do it. Most people don't want to change. They're too comfortable with how things are. And that's it. You don't want to change. You're not going to change.
That's again our issue. You can't expect everybody to wake up. That's just like me expecting every rapper to rap with some type of logic. That's not gonna be realistic. We're
Why would
living.
we do that though? But why would okay? If we bring it back to music, right? Because I guess so we can get to our goats. Like why would those rappers do that if they're getting shows, or they're getting on the radio or whatever? Like why would they change anything if they're being rewarded for doing that? It's like people telling Kanye to shut the fuck up. Like why would he shut the fuck up if every time he opens his mouth, he's rewarded for it? The same thing with music. If you make bubblegum garbage ass music, why would you change anything about it? If you feel good relying on technology, then why are you gonna not do that? And you're gonna let some other motherfucker come in and tell you, hey, you should really not be on your iPad. Like, man, you're not my dad.
That's the thing, though. It's like I'm aware of that. Like, but on any mission, on any path, you're gonna get that. Like, you have to be willing to accept that everybody not coming with you, and it might be somebody you love dearly. But at the end of the day, if we're gonna be spending the next few hundred years on any path, talking about politics, talking about trending music in the right way, talking about anything that's gonna actually uplift us, we have to put that energy towards that fashion. It may not be us, but if we start instilling that kind of mindset into our children, then they instill it into their children. Yeah, there will be a change. There will be a huge like changes. It's inevitable. But if we keep saying, well, everybody on this trend, so we just gonna let it go that way, everybody just finna be lemmings and walking smooth off the fucking cliff. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, we have to start standing in the gap because there is nobody else doing it. We don't have rappers like Tupac no more. That's why J. Cole or Kendrick get the reverence that they get, because they are, like Chris said, so different than the average rappers that are out right now. Like, somebody that I really like a lot is Freddie Gibbs. But Freddie Gibbs don't talk about no shit that's like for the culture, like advancing the culture. And I love Freddie Gibbs, don't get me wrong. But everything is dope boy music. It's trap music in a way, even though his is layered in a much better way. He got Madlib doing his beats. He got way better cadences. He got way better wordplay. Ultimately, there's only a few guys who have an intent on trying to change the way that the culture is seen through music. And I think that is a trend that we have to start getting on. And I can segue that into who I feel like gets the label a GOAT, because you hear people say that now, oh, this person a GOAT or that person a GOAT. Chance the Rapper. I feel like Chance the Rapper is one of those people who gets a hell of a lot of reverence who just hasn't hit that mark for me. Because there were times where I heard him say things where I was like, okay, Chance, this is the type of shit that I thought you were going to represent, you know, more as a whole based off of what I heard about you. And then it disappears. And then now it's this old poppin' shit with Young Thug. And then it's like, you know, all of this shit is so wishy-washy, but I had so much faith in him based on how much everybody like treated this dude like he was just that stick. Like his bars were just that heavy. Like his music, like they were like acid rap is a classic. Like I heard that so much. Acid rap, acid rap, acid rap. And I heard it and it was solid, but all of the stuff after that never hit the mark for me. Like, I don't know if it was because it's so choiry, like it has so much choir undertones, so many choir undertones to it. I don't know. But it just never, Chance just never lived up to that hype for me ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that he kind of falls into this other category of like, I don't really even look at him as like I don't mean to sound insulting, but I don't see him as like a real like MC compared to like some other artists, you know? Maybe it is kind of like what you're talking about, so choiry, and I don't know. I don't really know what his music's never really hit for me.
I think as an entrepreneur, like I put him up there. Like this,
for sure.
Sick entrepreneur. Like I don't know how many millions he made or whatever, but just his marketing and his tactics are. I give him that, but artistically, I could never put him in that GOAT category.
And I'm pretty sure he's always been indie, if I'm not mistaken.
In that GOAT category.
See, that's the line. I don't know if y'all ever seen that Joe Budden interview with him. And him and Joe Budden got into it because Joe Budden was like, you got to stop lying to people, telling them that you're indie, bro. Like, iTunes paid you. Like, you had an exclusive deal with iTunes. Like, there's a reason that you sold out so much so fast, bro. Like, stop lying. And, you know, Chance got mad. And he's like, no, it was indie because I got into a position to be in the room to orchestrate that kind of deal with Apple without, you know, any machine pushing me to that.
So does that make you indie? If you work with a label corporation, can you still be indie? No matter how much artistic power.
The thing is, technically, there's only like 4 like truly like major labels. But let's be honest though, like Atlantic isn't even considered technically a major label. But if you're signed to Atlantic, people calling you indie? No. You know what I mean? Like even if you're signed to Tr3bel right now, people are gonna call you indie. Like, it's considered indie because artist owns the fucking label, you know? It isn't like a machine like you referenced, you know? It's that word kind of does get thrown around. And I feel like Chance the Rapper kind of gets propped up as like this like indie hero, quote unquote indie, you know, but you know.
And see, and that was my thing about Chance specifically. It was like that. Cause somebody like me, somebody like you, like you know the indie route, both of y'all, like y'all know like what kind of grind that is, what kind of, and you can tell when somebody had a little push. Like, and there's no disrespect. Like I like, cause I love,
No,
like
get
you
yours,
said,
man.
Say that again.
But get yours. You know, if
Exactly.
you know, if you have an
But don't
opportunity to get on
lie.
commercials and all this shit, like, bro, you take care of your family. You know, who cares? Who cares what my opinion is?
Come on. And that's my thing is like I feel like I don't know, like I just feel like I'm a little old school with my mindset. I'm a little bullish. Like I like things to be like real.
Yeah.
Like I was watching an interview with DJ Premier talking about Biggie recording the Kick in the Door track.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Biggie had just got into a car accident. He's on a walker and shit like that. And DJ Premier does the beat, but he's dissing DJ Premier in the song. And he's like, so he's dissing Nas, he's dissing Jeruda Damage, he's dissing Ghostface, Raekwon, everybody. Like, he's just going for throat. Like, but he stops, DJ Premier's like, he stops at the doorway and he's like, hey, I got some words for you and your mans. If you don't want me to record this on your beat, just let me know. And you know, he's like DJ Premier was like, bro, it's hip hop. Like, go drop it. But it's like just that kind of realness is just missing now. Like people don't know how to like go at each other for real on tracks. Like have a competitive type of beef, for lack of better words. Like matter of fact, Tory Lanez and Joyner Lucas had one that I had respect for because it was about bars. It wasn't this whole, oh nigga, now that you beat me on the track, I'm gonna shoot you when I see you. Like we've advanced so far past actual logic. Like that makes money, bro. Like us having fake beefs or whatever you want to call it, us going at each other bar for bar.
No, you just did. No. Did you
say that again?
You just take a shot at Logic?
I don't even want to get started on Logic, bro.
Hey man, he retired. He retired, man.
Ooh.
I don't really care for. I honestly don't even care for Logic at all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say this, bro. Logic got a lot of credit, and the guy I recorded with was going back and forth between Miami and Atlanta, and he was working with DJ Khaled people, and he got on with some Logic people. And he told me this a while ago, and I was recording with him for a little stretch, and then he made a comment to me that really struck me the wrong way. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go back out to Miami and link up with Logic's writers." And I'm like, I just looked at him. I didn't say a word. I just looked at him like, Logic don't even write his own music. Now I'm gonna be real. I don't know 100% how factual it is, but Buddy that I know ain't really one of those dudes to even just make some shit up. Like he's so low key. Like when he said it, he kind of like looked at me like, damn, I wasn't supposed to say that. Like, but man, we're really tight, you know. And it's like I'm sick of all these guys getting all this reverence for being great writers and they don't even write their own shit.
Well, I'm sure in the beginning he did, because like in the very beginning, rare. I'm not defending the ghostwriting at all. I'm just saying like he probably
when he first started out,
merged.
Look, I think that like even when
he sounds like another version of J. Cole anyway. He's like a mini version of J. Cole to me.
You can't even compare those. Like the reverence like relevance.
Style wise.
Not even like J. Cole a real nigga. Logic don't have that energy. Like Logic can't go.
He tries to emulate that energy. That's what I'm saying. He's like a knockoff.
He tried.
Like he just strives to be that.
He strives to be real, like, but he can't because he tries so hard. And that's like the thing about real niggas. That's another reason I have the respect I have for J. Cole. Like, nigga got rich as hell and went back to North Carolina, his hometown, and rode a bike through town. People didn't even recognize this nigga. He asking people questions, helping people. Man, do you need help with your groceries? Shit like that. It's people who record him doing it. It's not him recording himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these rappers.
Bro, on top of the fact, just even artistically, just look at the music itself. And I can't believe we went back to J. Cole. But the thing is, like, even with all his success and all that, dude still produces like most of his own music. Like, you know how easy it would be for him just be like, all right, Ninth Wonder. I want to buy
Well,
X amount of beats. Primo, I want to buy X amount of beats. You know, like he's got the budget, obviously. But
exactly.
he's like, no, I still want to be. I want to control the art from conception to final product. You know,
No
and
matter
I
how
respect
it
that.
sounds
You
at
know,
the end.
not saying he's a goat or anything like that, but I respect that. You know.
Exactly. And that goes all the way back to the original segment. I think we have gotten way too lazy with the term GOAT. Like
Absolutely.
you can, like you said, you can be great, you can be raw as fuck, you can be somebody who's remembered through time. Like we were talking about earlier, like we know sports players that we remember that weren't nowhere near the greatest of all time, but we remember them as really good players. Like, why can't they just be that? Why can't they just be perennial all-stars, players that we respect, people that we respect and remember, but stop trying to put them on this small, minuscule pedestal that they don't necessarily have to be on, or
It's
they
supposed to
haven't
mean something.
necessarily really worked to be on.
Yeah, it's supposed to mean something to say
Yeah,
someone's a goat or a legend or the best ever or whatever, you know, or on the Mount Rushmore, whatever you want to, however you want to put it. That's supposed to mean something, you know. And if we just make everyone a goat, I mean,
it takes the relevance.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Like if your goat list is 50 artists long, then okay, and what does that mean?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
that's why for me, a lot of people probably wouldn't like this answer. I think I don't see Lil Wayne as a GOAT. I don't. And he's a very talented dude, very talented guy. And he's put out a lot of music and a lot of good music. But the problem is the first sentence I just said, he's put out a lot of music. And by the nature of putting out so much content, a lot of it is going to suck.
Yeah.
He has put out a lot of great music, a lot of great content, but he's also put out a lot of trash content, you know?
Bro.
And if we were to make like a sports analogy, I look at him, he's like raps like James Harden. He's like, yeah, he's talented, dude. He's kind of missing a portion of his game, you know?
Yes.
And in terms of music, I think it's a consistency thing. And I mean, he peaked out, you know, obviously, you know, I mean, obviously he's been in the game for such a long time, you know, by nature of the years, you're going to have some bad content, right? But there was a portion of time there where he was just putting out so much content and a lot of it wasn't that good.
It was about the moment, and people were caught up in the moment, because the thing about Wayne that people really like, especially younger cats, that they don't really realize is he really started the mixtape trend. He really started cats making bands off of mixtapes like consistently, and that's where the volume came, because he started making all that money off of it. So he just started dropping them, like all of the dedications, no ceilings, all that stuff. And it was all about the relevance, because he was just taking other people's beats that were already popular at the time on a lot of these.
Yeah,
And
you
just remix.
sell the mixtapes out on the streets and you make more money, you know?
You can't
don't have
sell
other people.
How was he selling them on the streets?
Well, not him. That's not him directly, but you know what I'm saying? But they're not selling like those mixtapes like in Best Buy, you know what I mean?
No, but
Yeah, I mean, remember,
you
bro, we had LimeWire and shit like that. You know, remember the LimeWire days?
Yeah,
I'm trying to see how he's getting paid from them if you can't sell, you know what I'm saying, other people's beats online.
But I remember like Cameron used to talk about this like way back when Dipset was heavy in the mixtapes. Like they were putting out mixtape like every week, you know? They were just putting out so much content, and he was talking about like we make so much more profit off of mixtapes because we can just put that shit out without a label in the way, filtering anything. We just put out a mixtape, you know, and just out in New York, and we'll make 25, 30 grand in profit or whatever, you know, where it comes down to like an album going like gold, especially if it's like a Dipset album and it's like a group album, after every hand has taken a piece. I'm talking about like marketing people and everyone at the label and all that stuff. The artists are only making like, you know, 50K off that album that you put in God knows how much time marketing it and all that shit, you know? And it's like the mixtapes were a more direct way to make that money, you know?
Exactly.
Quite frankly.
And I think that was a double-edged sword for hip-hop, because in a way, it gave people a totally different platform. Artists like Big Crit, who had issues with Def Jam not releasing their music could just drop a mixtape and still reach out to fans and give them the music that they waiting on. But on the other end of that blade, you got all of the little motherfuckers who like, damn, it ain't even that hard, is it? I could just go in anybody's studio and drop anything, and it's a mixtape. You know what I mean? And then then you got all of the people who now are producing without, because it doesn't have to have quality. It's quantity now. That's the mindset. Yeah. So it's like, if I can just produce 25 mixtapes, nigga, somebody gonna like it. Somebody gonna hear it.
You know what the difference is, and you kind of alluded to this right now. The difference is, like, I saw a tweet from, I think it was like Fonte, like this was like months ago that I saw this, and basically what he was saying was like, when I was coming up, you know, I was listening to like, I don't remember the exact artist he was talking about, but like, let's just fill in the blanks, you know, Rakim, Biggie, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And basically what he was saying is like, I used to listen to this and like think I can never be that good. Nowadays, people are getting into the game that are like hearing other artists like, oh, I can do that. And that's the difference.
The bar's been lowered.
Absolutely.
To like the knees.
It's so low, it's not even a bar no more. Like, bro, like the shit that comes out now, you're like, bro, who recorded this? Like, how did the engineer just sit here and be like, yeah, nigga, it is hot. Like, yeah.
Go ahead. He literally just hit record and it's like clipping and shit. Like,
I know you recorded that.
All right, cool, good.
I know you recorded that shit in the closet, man.
Come on,
I can hear your clothes in the background. I hear the hand.
Yeah, but he ain't charged me for the studio time, though. You know.
I smoked them out. I bought a blunt and
right.
You said record me for free.
Time to let me record for 2 hours, goddamn, you know. But it's like, it's just that, it's that mindset. Like, there is no like artist. That idea is gone. Like, there was an artistry to music at a point to where you weren't going to just drop shit if you didn't at least take your time to make sure your music had an idea. Like, think about 90s music. Think about niggas like Wu-Tang. Like, the whole Wu-Tang energy that they brought with that had to be thought out. You know what I mean? All of the samples and shit they use, Biggie, all of the samples and shit, that like the engineers had to be working, the producers had to be working, the artists had to be hard because everything about everything else was hard, and every other artist was going hard. So if you weren't going hard, they were gonna take your spot, dude. Niggas like Wu-Tang and Biggie and all them rapping at the same time, Big L, Big Pun, all these guys rapping. So it's straight, it's a hierarchy. Everybody's gunning for that top spot. But with that mindset, iron sharpens iron. It's not necessarily beefing. It's necessarily just like when you hooping. Like I play ball. Like, I don't care if it's LeBron, bro. If we get on the court together, I'm trying to beat you. Yeah. Like, after the game, if you beat me and you just that much better than me, I gotta accept that you were a better man than me. But we going at it. It's a hierarchy thing. You go hard. Like, but that idea is how you get better. You actually progress your lyrics. You get better cadences. Niggas don't do that no more because what are they comparing themselves to? Like, how you going? What can you look at in Migos and say, yeah, I'm gonna do that, but a little better? Yeah. Like, what can you really?
Yo, like, they personally helped me my skill level a lot. The Migos.
Like, you know, it's like I listen to them and I hear, you know, it's like, what do you? And it's like that idea is what changes the course of music, I think, because I like Lil Baby. I don't personally dislike Lil Baby as much as I dislike a lot of the newer rappers, but at the same time, he's still, it's still, I get aggravated because you hear stuff where he's like, yeah, I ain't never seen nobody write. I don't know nobody who write. I just go in the studio and I record a few bars. We take a break. Then I record a few more bars. You know what I'm saying? And then we take a part of the verse and then we flip it and we drop it on and we just use that as the hook. You know what I'm saying? And then that's the song. And it's like, that ain't a song. You didn't do nothing. Yeah. Like, you punched the whole song and then you telling me you just, it's annoying. Like, it's just that kind of concept. It's just, that's the way music has become, and it's no real artistry in the mind of the people creating it. They're not saying, damn, what's the best product I can put out right now? Yeah. What's the best product I can put out for the people's minds right now? And not even the people's minds. Fuck the people's minds. Like, just on a more personal level, what's the best product I can put out? Is this the best bars I can produce? Is this the best cadence?
Like, am I challenging myself artistically?
Well, that's the thing. Personally, they're saying to themselves, okay, I just want to put out what I feel comfortable putting out. I don't really even want to put a bar and elevate. I just want to put out what I'm comfortable putting out and what I think people will like.
And beyond that, you're right. No, you're 100% right. And beyond that, it's especially the newer cats. It's not like I want to be original. It's like, oh, I see this dude. He does this. I'm just gonna emulate that. I'm just gonna be a cookie cutter of that because that's what's making money.
Yeah, dude. It's like
there's no longevity in that though.
It's like when Biggie walked in the studio on Jay-Z, right? And Jay didn't have no pen, no pad. He wasn't writing anything. He was coming completely off the top, or not freestyling, but he had it in his head or whatever.
He's like, I don't write.
And at that point,
that
was like Biggie said, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact words, but he was like, man, from that point he stopped writing. He was like, man, I'm not gonna be that dude writing rhymes on paper when this nigga could do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he instantly leveled up and was like, yo, I ain't writing no more, man. I'm doing this shit all in my head, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing.
Iron sharpens iron, bro. I mean, and it's like if you look at every sense of any type of successful anybody, they got there because they had to at some point see somebody at a higher level than them that they were trying to strive higher than. And it's like, that's the one thing that's missing from our genre of music. There's not really, like, again, the people like, and I'm going to bring them up again, but J. Cole, somebody like Kendrick, somebody like Eminem, guys who are still currently rapping right now who have that reverence is being considered lyrically great, excuse me. The people who hear that, they don't try to be them. They don't try to strive to be them. They go, shit. That's just what it is. That's just that conscious music. There's not even a respect for it for what it is in a lot of people now. They say we don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear niggas talking about shit that makes sense. Like I've heard people tell me that. Like I've heard somebody literally walk up to me and was like, bro, that song was hard, but a nigga don't want to think when he listening to music.
I've heard that same
thing. That used to be the point.
I've heard that too. Somebody was like, sometimes people just want to turn their minds off and listen to music, which I do understand. But like, why would you choose that over this? Why would you choose that over this?
You have plenty of options. You have plenty of options for turn up music and club music and all that shit. You have plenty of options for that. So you know what? I'm okay operating on the other side of it. You know, I'll create music for the other time of the day that's not when you're partying and turning up. You know,
now they listen to Lil Pump and they're like, okay, Lil Pump, Kodak Black. That's I want to be that. That's what I want to strive for, and just produces more of that.
Yeah.
You know?
And what they don't realize also, and this is what I tell my youngins, because like I live in a city where I grew up here, bro. So I know Jits who hoop, I know Jits who do everything, rap, everything. But my mission, my message to them is always the same. It's like, bro, how long do you think they're gonna be in that position? Look at also the circumstances around them. There are things that allow them to get away with the shit they get away with. A lot of these motherfuckers are signed to record labels that are gonna pay their bill. You don't have that backing, nigga. Like, you don't have a machine that's like, hey, I'm making a few million off of you, so I'm gonna let you do this crazy shit because it's gonna make me more money. Right. You're gonna end up in jail, motherfucker. You're gonna end up dead, motherfucker, doing this to the wrong person. So it's just that idea, though. The record labels aren't owned by anybody who cares about hip hop. So that's where it's like you have this big gap because the underground has become more of a thing. People are more attached to the underground version of music now if they want to be due to the internet, but they're way more detached now than they have ever been because all they see is the mainstream shit, and all the mainstream shit is geared towards the kids more than it's geared towards us. Like, I got younger sisters, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all they hear is Lil Baby and NBA Young Boy and stuff like that. they think that that is rap or hip hop or that represents it as a whole because that's the only thing they know because they say, well, if Def Jam or if this company is putting them on, it must be good. And
Right.
it's like
People think that.
Yeah. The only the good stuff is broadcasted.
And
So
that's
everything
what people
else
think.
is not dope. You know
People
what I'm saying?
think that for real.
This is all I have. Basically, that's what they think. This is all I have. This is the best stuff you could listen
Exactly. It like people operate as if like payola does not exist. Like it's like it's really funny like when you are so like ingrained like in a certain like are you so focused in on a certain industry, you start to see how people can be so ignorant about that industry. Does that make sense? Like since we all make music, we are like more in tune with stuff that happens behind the scenes musically, right? Where people who have never recorded music or done anything musically, know anything about music business can be kind of ignorant on those things. And like I remember having conversations with people like you know like especially like when I was like single and like dating and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh, you know, like what kind of music do you listen to? Oh, you know, whatever's on the radio, you know, like whatever's good.
Yeah.
Like that's like in my mind, I'm like, wait, that's like
exactly
those are two different
whatever's
things,
on
right?
the radio. That's why a lot of people knock the internet, man. But thank God for the internet because
Thank
it gives
God,
us the chance to shine. You know what I'm saying? If we just relied on these big media corporations, that's all they would hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's lollipop.
And a lot of them don't realize that like the only reason this nigga on the radio station is because their record label paid for this shit. Like they paid for these spins, bro. They went to that radio station and they had a syndicated radio station that they already had in their pocket. That whenever they put a new artist on, they slide them X amount of cash. They gonna get X amount of spins.
Mm-hmm.
It's basic math. I mean, it's just simple marketing.
Why do you think you're like? Why do you think you're hearing Drake every 5 minutes? It's not because everybody.
Come on.
So dope.
But that goes back to Chris's
like
point,
when people say, yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, way back when they'd be like, "Oh, call in and request a song." Like,
come on,
attention to that. You know, we're paying attention to the money that the record label paid for that song to get played 20 times a day.
Come on, bro. They gonna play your song in the last 30 minutes or the last hour of this radio station, and then the next DJ gonna come on. They're gonna cut the song short too. Yeah, motherfucker, you got a minute and 30 seconds to that song you requested.
Dude, there was a guy that I knew a while back, and this is like maybe like 2008, 2009, okay, somewhere around there. And he was managing an artist down here in South Florida, and he was we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking. We were talking about like this guy has like the artist he was managing had like a single that they were trying to push, right? I was like, oh, do you know anyone, like any DJs or any of the radio stations? He's like, yeah, you know, I know a guy at, I forget what station, but he was like, yeah, it cost me like $5,000 to put into regular rotation for a week. And I'm just like, and he just said it like so like flatly like that. Like it's just so commonplace, which by the way, payola is illegal, but it's just never enforced at all, you know? Exactly. But it's just, you know, it's always been like that, you know? But at least we have another outlet, like you said, Raj. So
yeah, no doubt. Well, fellas, it's been a good session, man. We went a whole hour and a half, and it felt like a couple minutes, man. Cause
I flew by.
We just vibe. I can't wait till we could actually get together and chill and build like this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. We're gonna have to do an episode where we actually like record like in one room at some point. You know?
Have a table set up and like wherever.
Just have a like a panel discussion. You know?
Yeah, man. Hey, we gonna look back at this interview because we gonna do more in the future and be like, damn, that was the first one. Look how far we've come, bro.
No doubt. Appreciate you coming on the show this time, man.
Yeah, Tr3bel.
Hey, no worries, bro. You know I love y'all. Anybody who watching, y'all can follow me at the Jetpack Hero on Instagram. I'll holla at y'all. Tr3bel out.
Peace, G. And for me, Raj Elevate. You already know. Working on an album, putting out content on a regular. Follow me on all socials. ROJELEV8. Peace.
Yeah, and I'm at Chris Audio on everything. At KHRIS Audio. Just all together. If you look that up, all my socials will come up. you know, sound breaking music. Right now, no shows, but you know, when things normalize, we'll be getting back on the shows, still putting out music. Just trying to stay busy, you know.
Word up. Man, y'all boys be good.
All right, man. Likewise.
You too, bro.
Yeah.